There it goes. It's recording. It is recording. Hey, everybody. Here we are. Welcome to episode 226 of Is This Thing Working? Here we are live tonight. Man, we got a thunderstorm outside right now, so if, in fact, it does boom a little bit and you hear something like that, don't worry about it. It's just the thunder.
That's right.
Just the thunder and the rain, man.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. Yes. Welcome to the show. Sorry, I froze. I froze for a minute. See, it can happen to all of us. It can happen to all of us.
This is the fun thing about going live. We used to do the produce our show, record our show, and then put it out. But we've decided, man, go straight live with it. You're going to see everything we do. You're going to make the mistakes right along with us, or you're going to watch us make the mistakes right along with us.
That's exactly right. But thank you for being patient right there. It is Friday, and we are so glad to be here with you
bet,
today.
Man.
We've been excited, and we've had the show ready for a little while, so we had to wait for like a half hour or so, and it seems like we got out of our rhythm.
Yeah.
So we're trying to find a rhythm right now, and we're going to do really good because we got a lot to say today.
And that's why I told her, too. I said, man, like even with my band, we go in there, we do our sound checks, we get everything ready, and we're ready to rock and roll, man, and we got everything together, and then we have to wait because we can't go on stage until a certain time, and then...
I know. And it's like, oh, man, we had to get up and like run around the room.
You might lose the magic, man. You know what I mean? Yeah.
James said to me earlier, he goes, I think I could... I think I'm tired. I'm like, no, you can't be tired right now. We're fixing to go live. Be excited to be here. And that's what I told him. I told him I was excited because, we used to do this every day, Monday through Friday, and so doing it Monday, Wednesday, and Friday is, long form. It's wonderful, but we have a lot to say on Tuesday and Thursday as well. So it's hard to get it all in.
I get it. I get it.
And with everything that's going on right now.
It kind of stresses you out a little bit, don't it?
It does. It
does. But hey, man, if you are like us that sometimes deal with the hectic days in your life and you get a little stressed out and you get home and you want to relax, let me tell you what. If you ever feel like you need a little extra support to unwind, Cornbread Hemp is here for you. They offer full-spectrum CBD products that are USDA certified organic, and they're crafted to help you find your calm naturally. Cornbread Hemp uses only the highest quality grown hemp right here in the USA with products made from the flower only to give you the best of what CBD has to offer. No stems or leaves, just pure potent goodness. Grown right in the great bluegrass state of Kentucky. So from their best-selling CBD oils to their gummies and their lotions, Cornbread Hemp has something for everyone looking to de-stress and to recharge. So plus, all their products are lab-tested for purity and transparency, so you know you're getting exactly what's on the label. And if you're ready to add a little calm to your day, check out Cornbread Hemp and feel the difference for yourself, man, because your body and your mind deserve it. And you know what else you deserve? You deserve a discount in this Biden administration that we're still suffering through, but we're fixing to turn the tide and turn the corner. But saying all of that, use our promo code ITTW. Go to www.cornbreadhemp.com and use our promo code ITTW. You will save 30% on your initial order.
Please click that link below.
You bet.
And you do help the show because we keep this free just for you. And we have a great time. And we have a lot to say today.
Yes.
And our opinions are our own. They're our assertions, mine and James's. That's it. They're ours. We claiming them.
We own them.
Working's opinions.
Yep.
We own everything we say.
And if you like them, you like our opinions, you like our perspectives, you like our assertions, hey, man, tell your friends about us, share our show. And I want to tell you something, too. If you don't like our opinions and our assertions and our perspectives, hey, man, tell your friends and share our show
And also make sure you follow Is This Thing Working? On all platforms where we go live, like Rumble and Getter.
Yep.
And we show up on YouTube, and we show up on X, and we show up on Apple and Spotify. Make sure you listen.
All platforms.
For all of our podcasts.
Yep.
Our podcast listeners, we put it out special for you too. So, let me tell you what. It's been wild. And we have a
good show.
A good show coming up
Got
here.
A lot of good, great stuff to talk about.
And we have a new chapter.
Yes.
We have a new chapter.
Yep.
And we're turning the page.
You bet.
You know, we won. We worked hard.
Yep.
We got President Trump in there. The grassroots, they showed up. And also other people showed up.
Yes, they did.
The silent people.
That's exactly right. The silent majority. You've heard this, man, for all these years. The silent majority, the silent majority. Well, people, the silent majority this year was not silent, and that is awesome, man, because we've been saying this for a while, that we, the people, hold all the power. We, the people, run this country. We, the people, it's our interest that those on Capitol Hill are there to serve. And it's our job and our duty to make sure that we put the correct people up there. And we have this time, and the entire country knew it. And we voted accordingly. And I want to tell you what, man, the silent majority spoke out. They proved that we, the people, hold all the power, because we just do.
Yes. And you know, another thing
we just do.
To add to that is, it was Democrats, Republicans, and Independents.
You bet.
It was and those that don't even affiliate.
Yes.
You know, and what is so fantastic about it is we have changed the party.
Yes.
We've changed the party to uniters. We unite people. We, the people, together, and open your eyes to what our government is. This is the golden age. And it's time for everyone to get on board. Yep. You know, President-elect, you know, he calls this the golden age, the best time in history.
It is.
It is the best time in history
really
to be alive.
Yep.
You know, and what he came out with today, well, actually, he came out with as part of Trump 47, his agenda that he has put out here. And the number one thing that if you go to his website, which we didn't do that, but we have a piece of it right here on X, and it's his administration is going to restore free speech. So those people that are silent and people
scared
are scared to speak out and become engaged and be informed. Well, we know that you're getting more informed. We realize that. Thank you. Thank you so much. But now we need you to become engaged.
Yes.
You know, and we need you to not be afraid.
Speak out.
Speak out.
Speak out,
you know,
man. That's what we've done.
You know what? We're tired of being canceled.
Yeah. And I got to go back again to pat everybody on the back for this, is because, like you said, there's people that's been reluctant or, you know, not wanting to speak out because of what? Because of all the policies that this former administration, the Harris-Biden administration, has been shoving on us. The stuff like DEI, the woke bullshit, all of that, and all of the men in women's bathrooms and all of the men playing in women's sports. And, you know, when you sit there and you look at all of that going on and all of that happening, it, like we've said before, it doesn't become an R and a D issue anymore with people. It becomes a, man, what the hell is going on? Let's get back to common sense, practical living. Let's quit doing this stuff over here. And even the people that just wanted to just be every day, go live my life and do my thing, and not, they don't pay attention to politics. They paid attention this go round.
Yes.
Yes, they did. And
of course, you know why? Because it affected them.
It affected them. It's all affected them. You know, the price of groceries doesn't care whether you're Democrat, Republican, Independent. Neither does the cost of gasoline. Neither does the cost of energy.
Neither does the cost of your safety.
No, that's exactly right. The border being wide open and people seeing all of their towns being overrun by this, man.
And not being able to have free speech.
Exactly.
Not being able to go into a store with a MAGA hat on or to go to your work. You can wear sports caps, you can wear any other kind of cap, you can wear a Democrat cap, you can wear anything like that. But if you walk into let's say, a business that is not for the MAGA movement, you could be fired. I mean, that's how awful it got.
Yeah.
People, you heard at football games how when MAGA people would go in with a MAGA hat on, they would refuse to let them in.
Yeah.
After they bought tickets and everything. I mean, it is time. And President Trump has a 5-point plan.
And this is what it entails. This 5-point plan entails an executive order to prevent the federal agencies from collaborating on speech suppression with private companies. Executive orders are not long-term solutions, but this could be a start to gain the momentum needed for that legislation.
And we, and you out there who is listening to us that aren't silent any longer,
continue to speak.
Will continue to speak up and say, hey, we need legislation.
Yep. Because and what they're talking about here is the FBI going in there and trying to put the screws down on Facebook and Twitter and telling them you can't put this out. This is disinformation. Remember all of their disinformation bureaucracy that they had going on.
Yes.
Remember what was it called? The
Disinformation Governance Board.
Something like that. Yeah.
And it's still out there.
Yep.
That was that Nina Parker-Rich or whatever her name is.
So that's point number one, an executive order to prevent these federal agencies from putting the screws on social media platforms and private companies to spread the propaganda that the government wants you to spread. Mm-hmm. Also, the next point, DOJ investigations into these censorship practices with possible charges for violating civil rights and election laws.
Absolutely. Needs to be done.
Yes, ma'am. Third point, reforming Section 230 protections. Finally, reforming Section 230 protections to hold tech giants accountable for biased content moderation. This is all three of these points run together. The fourth one, penalties for universities found engaging in censorship, including cuts to federal funding. This point is interesting because President Trump also planned to crack down on anti-Semitism on day one by noon.
Yeah, he's cracking down on anti-Semitism, which means what, guys? That he's against anti-Semitism.
Yes, man.
Yeah. And the left loves to say that he's an anti, or he's a...
Yeah, I get it.
Anyway.
Trump's strong stance against censorship has ignited debate over the role of government in regulating these tech platforms. This is called a digital bill of rights to safeguard who? Americans. To safeguard your online freedoms.
That is my favorite of all.
The biggest safeguard that we should have online is the freedom of speech.
That's it. We should. And it does need to be, finally, someone needs to do something about it. Because there is crimes that happen on it all the time, and we understand that, and that needs to be taken care of. All the porn and all the stuff that kids can have, and see that, I understand that's part of free speech, but
for adults.
Yeah,
man, come on. I mean, there again, like we talk about
common sense.
You're not going to allow your 12-year-old to sit there and look at porn, so we all understand that. That's why it's not out in the public like it is. That's common decency, you know what I mean?
Yes.
But they have access to it online. Good God, man. It's that easy. That kind of stuff needs to be curtailed. I get that.
Yes.
If you want to talk about you're taking away my freedom of speech, well, the porn people need to go.
Yes. Yeah. And
but think about this. And in Middle Maga, he asked this question at the end of this. Could this move reshape free speech in the digital age, man?
The question he also asked is, should this be the priority? Well,
Yes.
heck yes.
Yes, it should.
It should be the priority.
Yep.
It is the number one thing that is on his, because he got totally banned from all platforms
Right.
after he left office. Well, on January 6th.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I mean, he got totally banned. He was totally canceled, and he wasn't the only one. Millions of conservatives have been canceled.
Yep.
And we're finished with that.
Yep.
It's
We're
over.
through with it.
There's no way that we can continue on this way as a country.
And I kind of seen just a little bit of that even yesterday, the censorship thing, and it had nothing to do with anything being political, but 40 monkeys escaped from a lab in South Carolina. 40 monkeys.
I think it was 43 to be exact.
Okay. Point is, a monkey is not cute. He ain't playful, and he don't care. He will literally rip your face off, right?
Mm-hmm. Literally.
Okay. I went to post Not the Bees article on Facebook, and I was going to add my comment at the top of the post that monkeys are not cute, they are not playful, and they will literally rip your face off. Be careful. I hope they catch every monkey. And that's what I wrote. Facebook immediately flagged that as being against their community standards. Why? That is truthful, factual statement. There was nothing false about my statement. There was nothing bad about my statement. That's the truth. A monkey will literally tear you from limb to limb.
Yeah, and I don't understand, because they say that you're putting out free, like fear. Like you're scaring the public or something like that, But it's the
that's
truth.
just the point. I mean, that's a small example.
It's
but
like warning.
yeah.
You're warning the public,
It's
hey, these are dangerous animals.
Yeah, it's just a small
Maybe
example.
you need to say,
but
these are dangerous animals, instead of saying, rip your head off, rip your face off.
No, but they will, though.
Yes,
that's
they
the
will.
truth.
And we had just talked about this, not on the show, but in a conversation recently about monkeys.
They're dangerous, wild
even before
animals.
the monkeys went that's why I thought it was crazy, because
Yeah.
I was like, well, did they listen to us? Because all of a sudden there's monkeys out there, because it was Joe Rogan
Yeah.
that was
we were listening to that.
we were
Yeah.
listening to Joe Rogan, and he was saying that monkeys will rip your face off.
Yes.
And that you were pretty much repeating what he said. They will rip your face off.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
Facebook didn't like that. But if Joe Rogan says it, he's all over Facebook. It's the craziest thing, But one thing, I guess we can move on from that. But guess what's coming back, though?
What's that?
The Texas Brief is back on Is This Thing Working?
Yep.
If y'all can remember, in the past, we had done a few Texas Brief podcasts. We tried to get it going, and it just was time consuming to do
with
the
the other
5
thing,
shows
yeah.
with it. So we decided, since we've gone long form now, that is going to be a segment. We have a lot going on here in Texas, and we need your help, because this Congress that's coming up, there's a lot of stuff that we want to take care of. There's elections we need to fix. There's, anyway, legislation needs to happen, and school choice is one of them. And one thing I thought was really cool is Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick names private school vouchers as his top legislative priority.
Yep.
So this is very important. This is, if you need to do this, go back and listen to our shows, especially regarding the elections, the Texas elections. I know we went straight over to the federal elections after the Texas ones.
After the primaries,
But this is important, because we got enough in there to pass the school vouchers. And I know this is very controversial to a lot of people. Some people just don't think it's a good idea. you know.
Right.
But it has been worked in other states.
Right.
And it's been very effective, you know, and it helps children.
Yeah. And true, and it's probably not, it's not perfect. It does have its pros and its cons like everything else. And this is not a knock on public school, but what this is an additional avenue for kids to go to these schools too, and to kind of help with overcrowding. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I mean, and in the long run, it helps all the teachers, and I kind of feel that way. But
yes, and some, you know, some kids learn better also with smaller class sizes.
Yes.
And our class sizes are so big. You know, I mean, it is hard. I watched a video recently of a young girl talking about going into her classroom of 32 students. And I was heartbroken. She says, I all I do is look around at these people that I don't know, and I can't focus on the teacher, you know. And she says it is very, very hard to learn anything. Right. You know, I mean, and I just think I really am. It is kids, all for the children. But imagine 32 little kids. Now, in college, you know, you had big classes like that. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But little kids, 32 little 5-year-olds running around.
Right.
You know, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a nightmare, even for a teacher.
So, and I can't imagine. That's one of the biggest pros that I see for that too, man, is the fact that it maybe it would relieve some of that burden off of this teacher. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it would shift funds too, so it wouldn't be all administrative anymore. It would focus more. They'd focus more on the children.
That's right, and I bet the quality of the education, you know, even that teacher would have a better quality education experience along with the kids, or be, you know what I mean, to be able to teach
absolutely one-on-one.
Yeah,
way more one-on-one.
Way
with
more.
them.
Yeah. More of a more intimate setting, not one-on-one, but maybe more of a more intimate setting where it's more personable, and and like you said, the kids will be able to focus better too.
I agree.
I'm not knocking, you know, I say, I'm not knocking either side. I'm just talking.
Yes.
And giving my opinion, you know.
Like we say, these are our opinions, you know, and
I could be wrong.
We know there's a lot of people out there that doesn't agree with us. I'm 100% for school vouchers. I think that you should be able to take your kid to what school you want to, and with your money, with your tax money that you pay into the school, you know. And if you decide, hey, I don't, you know, like the education that I'm getting from this school, and I want this over here, then I should be able to go. I mean, it's just the way it is. People are allowed to homeschool, but they can't take their kid to any other school.
See, and that's kind of where I'm at too. I mean, think about that in the urban areas, man. Mm-hmm. Think about that. You've got some schools down there in Houston with 2,000, 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 kids, man.
Yes.
Okay. You open up a school voucher program, and say a mile or 2 miles down the road, you bring these schools up. You can take that and at least open that up now, man. And like you say, I think it puts people into a better environment. It puts the kids into a better, you know.
And it gives competitions for schools.
And it gives competition.
And so then they focus more on the education.
Let's read what Dan says here. What he says about this, man. Just a little.
He said, school choice is my top policy priority, he said in a statement. 32 states, both Republican and Democrat, have enacted some form of school choice legislation. There is absolutely no reason why Texas children and parents should be left behind. Texans across the political spectrum agree that parents must have options to choose a school that best fits the needs of their child to ensure their success. He added, voters have spoken clearly during the primary and general elections. The time for school choice in Texas is long overdue. And that I 100% agree.
Yep. And you know what makes me most proud about that statement right there is he said that the voters have spoken clearly during the primary and the general, and it's time. It's time to listen to the voters, man.
It is time.
That's a big thing.
That is a big thing. And that's one thing I can say.
And put it up for a vote. Put it up for a vote. It may pass, it may fail, but put it up for a vote, man, because it definitely It definitely needs consideration.
It does need, and the conversation needs to be had. And it's okay to have that conversation. We have free speech. You know what? We just won free speech. We all voted for free speech. So let's have the conversation about it.
Yeah.
You know?
Exactly.
Like common sense people. And another thing that I thought was really interesting in Texas, our Secretary of State, Jane Nelson, announces a post-election audit of 2024. Any fraud identified will be prosecuted.
I hope I didn't vote twice and 3 times or something.
Me too. Me too. Yeah, but she has ordered a post-election audit of the 24 election.
Yeah.
And she said that they'll be prosecuted.
Yep. She released this statement. She says, Texas leads the way in election integrity measures with checks before, during, and after voting. This year's audit will be the largest conducted in the state and underscore Texas' commitment to transparency. The partial manual count will be much larger and more expansive than previous post-election audits. To provide greater transparency and accountability to the election process, the Secretary of State's office has made the decision to include multiple offices and additional polling places for this audit. According to KRLD Radio Dallas, Nelson's audit will focus on the presidential and the U.S. Senate races. The counties will manually count all the races in at least 1% of their election precincts. So she is requiring them to do a partial manual count in 3 additional precincts or polling places that are randomly selected by the county. They have until 3 days after the election to begin the process. The deadline for finishing the manual count audit is 21 days after the election. And then they give a list. Oh, so the county, yeah. Did she give a list of the counties too?
No. Let's see. Nope, that was it. She didn't. She didn't give a list of the counties.
An important point is down here at the bottom of this too, right here. Scroll down.
Okay.
Right here. Texas also refused Joe Biden's DOJ monitors to interfere with the state elections this year. Biden should probably focus on Arizona and California, where they're still nowhere near finishing their counts. And here it is Friday night.
Yeah. That's ridiculous, man.
Yep.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Yep.
But we had today our Attorney General here in Texas. He has been busy since we won this election.
Yeah.
I mean, he's already had 2 or 3 wins. He had stuff. He had stuff ready.
Yes.
For the win, and then all of a sudden, boom, boom, boom.
Ken Paxton plays chess.
He does play chess.
Yep.
And yeah, we've talked to you a lot about how he plays chess. He's awesome. He said today, breaking news, I have made a Freedom of Information Act request to the Department of Justice requesting records relating to Jack Smith's corrupt investigation into President Trump. Past special counsels, including notoriously Robert Mueller, destroyed records at the end of their investigations to avoid accountability. It is not clear why nobody was prosecuted for doing so. This request is part of my office's efforts to ensure that Americans are not cheated out of accountability or information again. This pattern of weaponizing the justice system for partisan retribution must end.
Amen. That's
Amen.
it.
100%.
Yep.
And this is why.
Yeah.
Because Jack Smith has all of a sudden decided, I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop going after Trump.
That would be a wise move. Yeah.
You know, and, you know, Julie Kelly came out with this great article, Declassified with Julie Kelly. You need to look her up. She's great. She's on Substack. And she really says it perfectly. So I just have to just use her words. She said, stone cold loser again. He loses again.
Yeah. She said, but the thing about Smith, reporters swooned over the silent type injured triathlete, even covering his stop at a D.C. sandwich shop in 2023 as breaking news, never matched his record. The Supreme Court in 2016 unanimously vacated the bribery conviction of the former Virginia governor, Robert McDonald, a case brought by Smith when he led the DOJ's Public Corruption Office during the Obama administration. And following Smith's appointment, McDonald told Mark Levin that Smith would rather win than to get it right. And she goes on to say, Smith, however, usually does neither. In fact, his prosecutorial resume is a long list of courtroom losses, which makes one wonder why Garland chose him for the job. Okay.
Well, everybody knows why.
Yes, we all know why they did. And here's the other point about that, too. We all know that because Thomas Massey made Merrick Garland admit it in a hearing and made him testify to the fact that Jack Smith was illegally appointed anyway. You know what I mean? So
yes.
Jack Smith has no legal right or obligation, and the way he's conducted himself throughout the immunity case and through the documents cases is criminal. And
yes, 100%.
not only did Judge Eileen Cannon hand his ass to him, you know what I mean? He knew it was coming here. He knew. So he tried to back off and go, oh, I don't want it.
Absolutely.
Dude. But that's where Ken Paxton comes in. I love it. He's playing chess. He's like, no, you're not off the hook, brother.
You're not off the hook. And there has been plenty of evidence of misconduct in classified documents case, and it demands an investigation. Yes, absolutely.
It does.
Everyone, just like you were saying about, and then the money. Folks,
yes,
the amount
the biggest part
of money that was spent
it's like 50
to go
million
after President Trump is unreal.
It's
and
like 50 million,
yes,
I think.
Yeah. It says, according to required financial reports, Smith's team spent at least $35 million in the first 14 months of his investigation, a figure that includes additional support from Maine Justice. But those costs only cover the period from November 22 through March 2024. It's likely Smith blew through another $15 million or so over the last several months, bringing the total to over $50 million, guys.
Yeah. Expenses include protective detail for him, travel expenses, and millions in unspecified contractual services. There you go. Time to see who and what companies profited off the special counsel grift.
Yep.
Weak Republicans in Congress undoubtedly will resist efforts to investigate and audit Smith, but Trump should ignore them. And I hope that he will. I think that he will, too.
I hope so.
I'm pretty sure he will.
They're pegging at him real hard right now about his administration.
And
it's
Julie,
crazy.
And Julie couldn't have wrapped that article up any better than to say the American people, that's us, y'all.
That's it.
As well as President Trump himself and his co-defendants deserve a full accounting of the dirty, rogue, secretive process. And Smith and his accomplices need to be held accountable. All of you people need to be held accountable.
Absolutely. One thing, I think that President Trump is not going to let this go. You know why? Because it cost him $50 million.
Exactly.
In attorney's fees.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think he's going to let this go at all.
Right. Rightly so, man.
I mean, imagine, his life was tore apart. And what he's more ticked about than even him being put through heck is his kids have been put through heck.
His entire family and anybody in his circle.
Yes, he cannot. Yeah. He will not let this go.
And let me tell you something. Another reason he won't let stuff like this go, that all these people need to be held accountable, is the ones that are sitting in prison as political prisoners of January 6th when they did nothing wrong.
Absolutely.
And those people, the people that are involved in putting them in prison, need to be held accountable. Merrick Garland needs to be held accountable. D.C. Drano put out a list of people that he listed today about who all where the prosecutions need to start. And he listed Fauci and he listed Bill Gates when he listed he listed Bill Gates of Arizona and some others, and he was like, "Who am I missing?" And I said, Mike Pompeo, Merrick Garland, Lisa Monaco, Christopher Wray. Hey, are you looking for that perfect coffee to kickstart your day? Coffee Brothers has you covered. Coffee Brothers is all about responsibly sourced, fresh roasted coffee that packs a punch in every cup. And their blends are crafted with premium beans roasted in small batches to give you a smooth, flavorful experience like no other. And if you're into the details, Coffee Brothers has it all, man. So whether you're into an espresso, whether you're into a cold brew, or you just need a classic drip coffee, man, Coffee Bros has you covered. They got your next favorite blends. Grab yours today and taste the difference that passion makes.
Please click that link below, and thank you for supporting our sponsors. We really do appreciate it. We're drinking some Coffee Bros right now, and we will click to you.
Yep.
Have a great day.
There we go.
Have a great evening, everybody. But we're not done yet. We have a lot more to go. Not a lot more, but a little bit more. Speaking of Pompeo, we're going to start right where you left off.
With Mike Pompeo.
And we want to remind you a little bit.
Yep. This is why we put the title of our show, which is what everybody says today, #No Pompeo.
Yeah, we didn't like him then, and we don't like him now. And this is where we need you to be informed, which we're going to inform you a little bit about Pompeo, and become engaged, be a force multiplier. Please get this out there. Man, no. #No Pompeo is trending #1 on X. We need to have it trending #1 on Facebook, on TikTok, on Getter, and Truth.
Right.
We need #No Pompeo on Gab.
Staple cardboard to a sign and write it on there and stick it out in your yard, man.
And Tucker Carlson is going to tell you why.
Yeah, he figured it out too. Here we go. You know how it done. Done as I cat yesterday.
Hey, we're getting pizza.
Okay. Well, let me start this over then. Let me start this right here.
Day, I'll never forget it. I went quail hunting, and I was driving back, and I got a phone call from Mike Pompeo's lawyer. Mike Pompeo was the Secretary of State, but before then, he was the director of the CIA. And in that position, he plotted the murder of Julian Assange. So he is a criminal as far as I'm concerned.
Yes.
But his lawyer called me and said, you should know that anyone who tells you the contents of classified documents has committed a crime. He's threatening me. It was in my car. With my dog sitting next to me, I'll never forget this. And I said, are you really saying that to reveal that the U.S. government had a role in the murder of a democratically elected president, to say that out loud, that's the crime? What about the actual crime, which is murdering a president?
Right.
But you're covering up for that, Mike Pompeo.
What did he say to that?
He had no response at all. And so Mike Pompeo is the one who pressed Trump to keep those documents secret. And so it's like, what's crazy to me is not just that Pompeo did that. I think Pompeo is a really sinister person and a criminal. I think that because the facts suggest that. He was caught.
Yes.
Yahoo News, Mike Isikoff wrote a long piece on this several years ago. His employees went to Mike Isikoff and said, hey, Mike Pompeo.
Oh, no.
Seriously?
I can't believe that.
Several years ago, his employees went to Mike Isikoff and said, hey, Mike Pompeo is plotting to murder Julian Assange, who's never even been charged with a crime in the United States, as CIA director. That's illegal. You're not allowed. Federal employees are not allowed to just kill people they don't like, okay? Just to set the baseline here. So that's who Mike Pompeo is. But he somehow intimidated Trump into not releasing this. Well, okay, that's all bad, right? I think it's criminal behavior. What's crazy is how Mike Pompeo is treated. He's treated as like a Republican poobah in good standing. He fully expects to become the Secretary of Defense in a Trump administration, which is like completely insane. Why would you take a criminal and give him nuclear weapons? Okay, that's my view. I think it's a common sense view. And like he goes to fundraisers and dinners and everyone's like, hey, Mike Pompeo. It's like, no, you're the guy who kept information the public has a right to know secret. You're the guy who plotted the murder of someone who committed no crime. You are the outlaw. You are the bad guy. But no, he's treated as like, you know, like a pillar of Republican Washington. I think it's mind-bending.
Yes.
Absolutely mind-bending.
Yes.
100%. Mike Pompeo is everything
that Tucker
that
just
Tucker
said he
just
was.
said.
Yeah.
I mean, so, folks, like we said, we need hashtag no Pompeo.
Not only, and that interview was from previously, not only, and he probably brought it up later on in that interview, not only that, but Mike Pompeo was on Fox News just last year praising Jack Smith.
Oh, he was?
Yes. Watch Mike Pompeo like a hawk. You can't let him in this administration. He cannot be trusted, man.
No, he cannot.
He cannot. And I've heard that him and President Trump are supposedly close and this and that, and that's fine. You know,
But he doesn't need to be in there.
Exactly.
You know, there's so many other people that he needs to bring in his administration. He does not need to put the same people there
not a
because
neocon like him, man.
They're there for their own purposes. You know, Mike Pompeo didn't try to get him elected. Mike Pompeo did not knock on doors. He did not, you know, call and text and become informed, become engaged and be a force multiplier. He didn't like unite with the MAGA movement.
Nope.
He did none of those things. He went on Fox News on a regular basis. And anybody that Fox News wants, guess what? We don't want.
That's
Just
it.
saying, we don't want him. So no to that. So what we want you to do is contact your representatives.
Yeah.
We want everyone. You call up there and you tell them. I mean, no, they can't do anything about it. But if enough people hear, guess what?
That's it, man.
There's going to be no Pompeo. But we have this Bill Blaster app.
Yep, and the Bill Blaster app has all of the different pertinent bills of Congress,
And it has every legislator.
Yes.
Even in your state.
Yeah.
And it has it on.
Has
and all
their-
you have to
their
do
name,
is put in their name. Like ours,
contact
representative
number.
is Pete Sessions. We put in Sessions. Everything about him comes up. His voting record, his phone numbers, everything
Everything.
about him. And you can call. This is what you call mobilization. And we have mobilized this way by knowing that we, the people, can contact our representatives anytime we feel like it.
That is
So
it.
please download this Bill Blaster app. It will help you immensely.
To be informed and become engaged, man.
Yes,
Because people hold all the power, man.
they do.
We, the people, hold the power. And while we're talking about a power shift here, too, though, we leave Friday evening with still undecided House seats, man. The Senate's pretty much ours. We know that.
Yeah, we
The
have
House,
53.
the House,
Still
I
waiting on
believe, is pretty much ours based on a couple of different things that I've read.
But the Democrats, they are not letting
Yeah,
loose.
they're not letting. Yeah, they're not.
They are
What we
not.
told you the other day, they're not going to go away that easy.
No.
They're not just Democrats, man.
No.
You know
They're
what
not.
they are. And
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we have this article from The Hill right here, and it says control of the House is yet to be determined as a number of critical races remain too close to call, leaving lawmakers and voters waiting to see which party will hold the majority next year. Now, I think that deep down inside, the Democrats knew that they were not going to win the presidency. So they really did focus on the Senate and
down
the House.
ballot. Down
they focused
ballots,
on down ballot.
which is what we've been preaching for everybody on the Republican side to do.
Is vote down ballot.
Yep.
And because we have been preaching this and telling everybody, and everybody knows the grassroots, this is what they have been putting out there: too big to rig, and vote down ballot. Even if you have to hold your nose, you vote down ballot. And that Kerry Lake race that's going on right now, them saying that they didn't vote down ballot, that they voted for this other guy, this Wago guy, that is false. So there's something going on in Arizona, and we're still watching them. But we're talking about the House. But the sprint is to 218. Once you hit 218, you won. However, it is nearing the final stretch after a handful of additional races were called in the days following the election. Republicans so far have secured 216 seats as of this morning, with Democrats trailing at 204 seats, according to Decision Desk headquarters. A total of 15 races have not yet been called. Democrats are leading in 8 of the contests, with GOP candidates they're ahead in other 7.
Okay.
So Republicans, nonetheless, this is on the article,
Yeah.
are wasting no time in claiming victory, even as the final tally remains unclear. It does not remain unclear.
Yeah.
I mean, the Republicans are secured at 216 already.
Right.
They need 2 more to actually be 218.
Yeah.
And you told us that there were 7 that we're ahead in.
Yeah.
So do the math. If you did the math, you would know you need to call them all and let the chips go where they may.
That's it. And they can pull this out here and say that they have a slim chance. I don't know that they do either. And this was based off even what I read on Yahoo News. If you want to go to that, I'll show you. This was in Yahoo News. And the numbers are a little different based on just when they wrote this, but it still remains the same, even today's totals. How many of these seats, it says, the vast majority of them concentrated in slower counting western states such as California, Colorado, Arizona, Nevada. How many of these seats does each party need for a 218-seat majority? So far, Democrats had won 204, Republicans have 216. If the Democrats were to win all of the remaining districts where their candidate is ahead, even narrowly, they would end up with 212. The Republicans would end up with 223 and continued control of the House. So
it's going to happen.
That's what I'm hoping.
That's what it's going to be. And it's going to be more than what they had before. One more, but it's new people coming in, more MAGA, and it's great, and it's wonderful, and we need to just keep up this fight.
Yep.
And we are going to have the House, and they are going to have to get over it.
Yep.
They need to call these races, California, Colorado, Arizona, Nevada.
Call them.
Call them
Let's
already.
do it. Yep.
Let's get it done.
Yep.
They're just holding out. Like you've been saying. Well, what have you been telling me this whole time? They're making backroom deals.
Sure they are, man. Sure they are.
To try to keep it right at 1 or 2, like you're always saying. Just 1 or 2. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So
just 1 or 2. Yeah, on either side.
That's what they're going to do.
That's what they want. They want a 2 or 3 person flip, either one way or the other.
Either way.
Yep.
Yeah. So, anyway, we're still watching the races. We'll let you know a little bit of what's going on there. But before we close the show, there's just a couple of Democrat craziness we want to go over and kind of laugh at and end the Friday with, since it's been a crazy weekend, a crazy week.
Because these people are so insane.
They
man.
are insane.
They're so
insane.
scared. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Democrats are at war over SCOTUS plot to oust Sotomayor.
Yeah, this is hilarious. This comes from the Daily Beast, man.
It is hilarious.
Yeah, not again, it said. That's hilarious, man. Having spectacularly failed to get one woman elected to a top job, the Democrat Party is at odds over whether to push another woman out.
Well, they did that to Justice Breyer. You know, they kind of forced him out, man.
Yeah. Well, that's what they're saying. The Dem Party is secretly fighting over whether to try and force out Justice Sonia Sotomayor to avoid the specter of Donald Trump sending the U.S. Supreme Court further to the right. Senators are reportedly at odds over whether to put pressure on Sotomayor, the first Latina justice, to step down while Democrats still have the power to usher in her replacement. Although she's only 70, she does suffer from type 1 diabetes and is the oldest of the 3 remaining Democrat Party-appointed justices.
They want to totally just change the makeup of the court. They haven't been able to do it. We have fought them the whole way.
What is it that they say that what illness does she have?
Type 1 diabetes.
So everyone with type 1 diabetes ought to just be shoved out of their job.
70.
Yeah.
You
know, again, I mean,
I know President Trump is almost 80.
Is she not showing up to court because of her diabetes and she's not able to perform her job, or is it just because
she's a moderate and they want progressive?
You bet.
I'm sorry. I just have to say this because trending on X before the show was Kamala Harris for Supreme Court of the United States.
Good
guys.
God.
Yes. Yeah. If you ever get that person on the Supreme Court, there's some.
Could you imagine the word salad opinions you would get out of that, man? Court opinions.
She wouldn't even know how to make a decision. Well, she would never write an opinion. Never would she write an opinion. She doesn't know how to give one.
Yeah, if she could, you wouldn't know what it was anyway.
No, that's hilarious. Anyway,
but they say, and this is what they say: party leaders are terrified of a repeat of the 2020 debacle when RBG died during the first Trump presidency after resisting overtures to step down when an Obama administration could offer a like-for-like ideological replacement. Instead, Trump's choice of 7th Circuit Judge Amy Coney Barrett was sent to the court, lurching farther to the right. Y'all are seriously going to say
that Judge Amy Coney Barrett,
get out
she's
of here.
Really in the middle, guys.
Get out of here before you die. I mean, we're messed up here.
She kind of hangs with the women, I could tell.
Funny,
but it is funny. Well, and that's because they're panicking, and I understand why they're panicking, because President Trump changed the makeup of the court already, and he's back in there going to change the makeup of the court again, because Sotomayor, if something happens to her or whatever, but there have been rumors that Justice Thomas and Alito were both thinking about retiring, and they're hitting, I think, the 30-year mark or something. I know Justice Thomas has, and I think he's waiting for President Trump to get in so he can retire.
Yeah.
So we will get 2 more judges probably, and her. And
well, I hope
will probably retire
honestly,
soon.
Yeah, maybe she'll retire, but I was going to say hopefully she won't
I hope she doesn't
poor old
either.
RBG
I would
did.
Never.
Yeah, like
but
Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
She stayed in there on purpose, man. She was stubborn to the very end. They tried to get her to leave.
I respect the shit out of her for that.
I do too.
Though. Yeah,
I'm 100%.
I might not have agreed with her, but she didn't let the system push her out the door.
No, she didn't.
Yeah.
Then I just have to show this because this is a Breitbart News article headline.
Yeah.
And this is really happening. I have seen TikTok videos. I seen one girl on there. Let me read the headline for the podcast audience. I'm sorry about that, guys. Leftist women shave their heads in protest to Trump victory. FUCK being hot. That's what the patriarchy wants. I don't even understand what that means.
Yeah, I don't either.
So the F word being hot. So in other words, they don't want to be hot no more.
Right. That's what the patriarchy wants.
They also are talking about never having sex again. You know, so I've heard that we're never going to have sex again.
Well, they also talk about
What the heck?
they also talk about supporting late term abortions, and they also
Yeah, well, so that
also
they
talk
don't
about
get pregnant to have abortions. That's what they mean.
Yeah,
You know, so I'm
just
totally
pointing another
not,
thing out.
Yeah.
An insane thing about these people, man.
No, I mean,
They're
this
nuts.
is who voted for the Democrat Party. This, you know,
This
this
is what-
is what
this-
it's become.
And this is what was so great to even circle back all the way to the very start. This is what's so great about the silent majority. The people who weren't necessarily concerned with having a D or an R. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And by their name. They were looking at this and going, I'm sick of you damn people, because all of your crap and you're woke and you're trans and you're shoving all that stuff in our face and demanding that we accept it, and we are tired of it. We, the people, are tired of it.
We're over it.
And our voices have been loud, and that's been an awesome thing, man. It does, man. It just excites me, man.
Yes,
I know
it is
that-
an exciting time in history,
it
like
is.
President Trump says.
Yep.
So it's the golden age, and we're going to keep pushing along. Our show is going to get bigger and better. We're going to bring you great content. We're going to give you the information so you can become engaged and be a force multiplier.
Yep.
And I'm excited for
Yep.
it.
We're always going to give you our honest opinion, too.
Yes,
Doesn't matter.
And believe me, we have a lot of work to do. This is not, it's going to get crazier, and it's absolutely
Yeah.
going to be a fight every step of the way, like they've always done. They're
Yeah.
going to find some way to impeach him. They want to impeach him so bad. So our next order of business will be to elect the House again next session in 2 years. So from now until then,
We got to
we will
maintain
push
control.
it. We got to
and push it, man.
maintain control. Now, people are already saying out there, hey, we're not going to get it. It's kind of the middle of his presidency. Things get a little stale, stagnant, and people don't get out and vote. No. Guess what we're going to do?
We showed this time, man, what happens when we, the people, stand up.
Absolutely. Is this thing working?
Rise up.